Hey everybody, it's Carol with Refunction Crafts, and today I'm going to do a video on how I am making my wire wrapped butterflies. We did a video recently on the dragonflies. This is the one that I made in my last video. It turned out absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to be putting these into my shop. Now this one's already sold. The girl that sent me the original video on these, when I got done with this one, she asked me to put it aside for her. So she was buying a couple of other things, and so this is her butterfly, or her dragonfly. So this one is sold, but I'm going to be getting some more wire hopefully soon and making some more of these. And then these were the other two dragonflies that I had made. Super gorgeous. They came out just beautifully, you guys. I can't say enough about these and how fun they are to make. Now this is the first butterfly that I made. It's enormous. It's very big, and it's got some of my holographic white glitter in it. And on that, I think, I don't remember if I got that on, I think I got it on Amazon, but it was either Amazon or Temu, but I'm going to say probably Amazon because of the size of the container. I don't know that Temu sells a lot of large containers of things. So I'm pretty sure I got that on Amazon, but I will put the link for the sparkly glitter. It's holographic, and it's clear and sort of white glitter, but it really isn't white. It's very clear and sort of AB. And so that was the first one that I made. This was the second one that I made, and it also came out absolutely gorgeous. But the problem with this one was that the wings, if you can see, are not exactly the same. It would have been fine if they were both like this or both like this. But this little wing got kind of pulled out and stretched. I accidentally did that when I was working on it. And so it looks like it's bigger than the other side. So this one is actually going to be mine because I'm kind of messed it up. And these are, I'm making them right now sort of as plant sticks. And this is going to go in one of my plants, and it's going to live with me forever and ever, because I love her even though she has a funny wing. And then this was the last one that I made, and look at how gorgeous she is, you guys. She is absolutely stunning. And I used one of these butterflies that I got from my friend Sherry. This one here is the last one that I have, and it's kind of a smoky gray color. But this was a pink one, and it just turned out gorgeous, you guys. I love this one so much. I love it. I mean, I cannot say enough about this butterfly. It is my all-time favorite, I think. But she's got a nice big thick stand or stick, and you can use it as that, or you could snip that off and you could turn her into a mirror hanger. You could do so many things with this. I just noticed I have a little drip that I didn't nip off of there. Wow, that went quite a ways. Anyway, so they really are beautiful, you guys. I used some of my nail stickers or decals on these, so I'm going to show you how I used those in this video. I've got those here. And so we are honestly going to just go ahead. We're going to get started on this. And let's go to town. These are pretty easy, you guys. So if you can follow along, you know, you can just replay the video, which is what I do when I'm not quite sure about something. I'll just continuously replay it until I think I've got it figured out. I wanted to show you guys too. This is a cross that I just made yesterday, and I'm so excited about her. I'm going to put her on this piece of paper. Look at how beautiful it is. She's got just a clear cross behind it, and then I had this rhinestone cross that I got in Happy Mail, so I put that in the center and then added some of these beautiful red flowers to the top. And it just is absolutely gorgeous, you guys. I love, love, love this cross. I wish I could get it. There you go. I think that's a pretty good view of it. And then I added this earring, dangle earring to the bottom just to hang it from. But it is so gorgeous, you guys. So think about that. You know, if you're making the clear crosses, you could take a rhinestone cross or just a metal cross, whatever you've got, and put that in the center and use that as part of the embellishment for this, and then just work around that as well. Comes out super gorgeous. And I have a couple of my green leaves in there, but you can't see them in this lighting because my lighting is not very good right now. I don't know, some days it's good, some days it's not. Let me see, maybe if I open my blinds just a little bit, I think I can get a little better light. I think that's better already. So anyway, you guys, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started on this. I'm going to show you exactly what we need to do, and hopefully you guys will give this a try. And what you're going to need is you're going to need some pliers. You're going to need one of your round pliers. You're going to need some, I'm using 18 gauge. This is copper wire, not copper in color, but copper wire. And I think this is 18 gauge as well, but it's a softer wire, this right here. And this is the same as this one. I'm almost out of the soft wire, but I'm wondering, I'm thinking I might have enough here that I can do this butterfly in. I like working with this particular wire because it's softer. And it's a little bit easier for me to flatten and do the things I need to do with it. I'm going to sort of stretch this out and see what I think I can do with it. That portion would be there. And let's see, that would cover the top wing. And I mean, I can always add a little bit of the other 18 gauge wire as well. And that could be the bottom wing, and then this could be the final piece to twist around it. So yeah, I think I've got more than enough. So my first piece that I'm going to cut, which is going to be the body, is going to be, I'm going to cut it at 12 inches. Because I like how that last one was a little bit longer. And so I think 12 inches is a nice length to do the body with. The next piece, which is going to be the top wings, I'm going to do those at, let's see, how big is that going to be? I think I'm going to cut those at that one at 11 inches. So there's that one. And then our smaller wings on the bottom, we're going to cut at 10 inches. And then this is my leftover piece that I will use to wrap around everything when we get to that point. So kind of the same process as the dragonflies, really, you guys, only you're shaping these a little bit different. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a white pearl here, and this is just I think it's a 10 millimeter pearl. It's a fairly small one. You don't want to use anything too big, but you can use a bigger pearl on this. You really could use any size you want, depending on how big you want that head to look. So now I've got that up at the center, and we're just like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this in, and I want to bring those two pieces as close to the center as I can so that they're not off kilter, so that they're not leaning to one side. So that's kind of my biggest concern right now, is to get that right into the center. And I think I've got it, and I've done a pretty good job. So I'm going to start twisting and get this kind of set in place. So that top piece is set, and it is centered pretty darn well. So now we're just going to continue moving down. I'm using my pliers to hold it together, and we're going to continue moving down and twisting. It's that easy, you guys. And then I just kind of try and pull it back together. I'm twisting backwards from what I usually do. I don't know why I did that, but I did. It still works the same. It's just not my natural, the natural way I would do it. I would be twisting the opposite direction and probably twisting with my right hand instead of my left. And I'm trying to get a pretty even twist all the way down. And as you continue to twist, it just continues to get tighter and tighter until you can feel the tension sort of where you've gotten to where you've got, you know, the rest of your twists. And right here at the bottom, we're going to do one more twist there, and then I'm going to nip it right here where these two little pieces stick out. Just like that. And get rid of these teeny pieces of wire, because if somebody steps on those on the floor, they're going to really hurt. Now this isn't super long. I don't know that it's as long as the other one that I did. Actually, yes it is. So that's cool. It's going to be a nice long one. So there's that piece. Now this is our bigger wing here. This is the 11-inch wing. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn it around. We're going to make an X down at the bottom, and this piece that's hanging out is probably 3/4 of an inch to an inch. And you can kind of decide how big you want that to be based on, you know, what you're going to do. You only want to give this, I give it 2 small twists. Okay, so that it will hold together at the bottom there. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to try and make sure I've got equal amounts on each side. So this is 4.5. Let's see, what, a little less than 4.5, 4.25. So 2 1/8 would be our center, and that's just about perfect. So we're just going to press that in there. I'm going to hold that together, and I'm going to kind of look at it because I want to see, because it seems like I think I've got it in the center sometimes, and then I look at it when I'm done and one side's bigger than the other side. So, but I want to make sure that they are about the same loop so that that tells me. That looks about good right there. So I'm going to do 2 twists, 2 small twists there, and 2 small twists there. I don't like having too much here on the sides, and that's where I tend to kind of, I think, have an issue sometimes. So I'm going to push that in and retwist. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to push it in a little more and retwist so that it's a little bit closer to the center. Okay. And then we've got our bow, and we've got way too many twists down here at the bottom, but that's what I do. I twist it and then I sort of untwist it a little bit because we don't need that many twists once we've got our loops. So there's our first one. It's not super pretty right now, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. And same thing on this one, about 3/4 of an inch. We're going to twist it 2 times. We're going to take this and we're going to pull it out and get it to the center where we feel the center is. And that looks pretty good. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold this down right here at the middle and twist. And I'm going to hold this side down at the middle and do the same thing. Twist. Okay. So there we go. Okay. I got that a little closer to the middle and I like that. Okay. There we go. And then you can just take your pliers, if you've got any bends in that, and just kind of press them out. Just like that. It's easy peasy. Okay. So there's our smaller bow and our bigger bow. So first things first, we're going to put our big bow on, and we've got the holes to our pearl off to the sides, and we're going to put this right up under the head, and we're going to hold it down, and we're going to move one of those out of the way, and we're going to twist this first one around really tightly as you can, you guys. And then we're going to twist the other side the opposite way. And we've got a nice little twist, and it's nice and hard pressed on there. And I'm going to take these end pieces and just sort of grab hold of them so that we can get them around and press them in so that they're not poking out. Okay, so I'm just kind of going around here and pressing it in. And so that's what that part looks like. Not too shabby. I think I'm getting a little bit better as I go along with these. And then this one, we're going to put it right up at the top again, just like the other one. Really over the top of the first one. And same thing, we're just going to twist until we get it around. And we're going to twist the other side going in the opposite direction. And it just kind of makes that body a little bit thicker, which is great. That's kind of what you want at the top, is you want it to have a thicker body up at the top. And we're going to press these little sharp ends in so that they're not sticking out. I can just see them there. There's the other one. Okay, there we go. So there's what we have so far. Just the two bows. It looks like a dragonfly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my last piece of wire here, and I'm going to bring it sort of around the butterfly's head like that, just to try and get it in there as tightly as I can. I'm going to use my pliers and press it around like that, and I'm going to twist it one time so we've got a little X going there. And then I'm going to pull this side up and over like that. And then I'm going to pull this side up and over and try and twist those across and just sort of press them down if I can and in. And try and get them a little bit centered. And they're not going to look perfect, and they really don't have to, you guys. These don't have to be perfect because you're going to be covering this section up here with something in the end anyway. So it's not a huge deal. I mean, we want to try and get our wires as nice as we can, obviously. But they don't have to be perfect, you guys. So just remember that. In this, I'm just taking one of them and I'm wrapping it around into the body. And it's not going all the way down, that's fine. I'm not worried about that. And this side, I'm gonna start wrapping as well. And I don't know that it's important that you go in the opposite direction. I really don't know the importance of that. I know the other girl did that, so I'm trying to copy her directions, but this time I did not. I twisted them both the same way. In fact, when I was watching her video, I noticed that she did the same thing. So I think it's to each his own, and it doesn't really matter either way if you twist a little bit differently. Or twist them both in the same direction, I should say. I honestly don't think it matters. I don't know if it gives it a different look. I have no idea what it really does for it. So I haven't noticed a difference either way. Okay, so there we go. We've got a nice little body there. Very pretty. Not where we want her yet. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the top wings. I'm going to take these two wings and I'm going to at the very top and a little bit off even more to the left, which would be more towards the head, I'm going to press it in at the top like that. Same thing on this side. I want to get it a little bit more shape. So that's what we're doing there. So we're going to get that little shape right there. And then I'm going to take this part, and I'm going to go about halfway up right here between here and here, and I'm going to pull that down like that. And same thing on this side, about halfway up, and I'm going to pull it like that. So that's kind of what we're looking for here. Okay, that goes in like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our little, actually, you know what, I think last time I did it with these and it worked out. No, I think I did it with my round ones. We're going to take and make a little turn that way and a little turn that way. Go down a little ways, a little turn that way, and a little turn that way. And I think we're going to do one more little turn, just a tiny one. Okay, so that we get a little bit of shape in that wire. I'm going to sort of try and flatten this out a little bit so that you can see the shape a little bit better. I feel like maybe I want one more. There we go. Okay, so then we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to make our little loops like that and like that, and go down a little further, make our next loop, and and our last one. So that's what we've got. Okay, so it looks really very pretty. And then you can shape, you know, whatever makes you happy as far as the shape of, you know, the rest of the shape of your wing. And then these bottom ones, I tend to want to make these more round, like this. Fatter and rounder, like that. That's kind of what I'm looking for there. But I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom ones, and I'm going to put some little loopies in them. So there's one. There's two. There's three. I think I'm going to make one more in this. Right there. And they're not perfect loops, you guys. These are, what do I always say? Perfectly imperfect. As things are in nature. So then I'm going to start right here where I've got the first one on the other side. And I'm going to make one there. I'm going to make one there. And one there. And one there. There we go. I feel super happy with that. Look at that butterfly. Is that not just perfectly imperfect? I love it. Okay, and then what I like to do is I like to press these down a little bit and try and flatten out this wire just a bit. Or as best I can, I should say. G. Kerr, she flattens hers on a piece of acrylic before she does her resin work, which is great. I don't have a piece of acrylic and I don't really have anything. I tried to use something else and I didn't feel like it made a difference. So I've done it both ways and I didn't feel like it made a difference because what's going to happen when I put this on I've got tape on that, see? I've put it backwards. So when I put this on here, really most of it sticks to the tape really, really well. So I'm totally great with the way that it sticks down. I try to keep these two a little bit separate here because I don't want to have to deal with the resin going between them and then not being able to cut it out without breaking something. I have that fear of breaking the whole thing because I'm trying to cut one piece of resin off. So I'm going to go just like that. And so this side, we're going to take it and we're going to press it down as hard as we can onto that tape without trying to, you know, move our fingers around too much. Try and get that middle section to go down as much as you can. But don't worry about bending it way up because what's going to happen if you play with it too much, then it's going to start lifting in different places. And you're going to have these big holes. Now, right here in this section, you're probably going to end up with a little hole anyway. It just happens because that section is all wonky and curly and all of that stuff. So it's probably going to happen. So I've got this down about as good as I'm going to get it. I'm going to look at it and I'm going to see where I might have little bits popping up and I'm going to try and press those down. Now this particular box has a little bit of a cushy top And I found that to be very beneficial in being able to push the wire down and get it more even to where it will stay on the tape. So I've had some luck there. I've had some not luck there. So I did have one that I had to completely redo. And I think it was the one that has the one big wing, bottom wing. I think that was the one that got just out of control. Okay. Please, please, please be down enough. See, that's very lifted over here. And if you're lifted up too much, you're going to have problems, you guys. The resin's just going to go right under that wire, and you're going to have a whole bunch of excess resin on the outside. So we want to get this down. We want to get it filled, and we want to get it done as quickly as possible under that light. So we're going to squeeze some resin in there. Don't overdo the resin, you guys. You can overdo it and you can underdo it. Got to have enough to go to those edges and hold, you know, to where it's going to hold down. And you're going to have some little waves in this. Don't worry about those little waves that are going to get into the butterfly wing. It's not a big deal. We can get rid of those later on. So I don't think there's any way to not get those waves. That was one thing G. Kerr didn't talk about in her video. It's impossible to not get those tape waves. I'm going to pop this under my lamp immediately and get that light on there and get it curing as quickly as possible. So I'm putting it under for 5 minutes, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've pulled it out of the UV lamp, and this is what it looks like on the tape. And we are going to gently pull it off of the tape and pray that the resin doesn't stick down and not want to come off of the tape, because that can happen too. And I feel like that's what it's trying to do this time. I don't know why. This tape is pretty darn sticky though. It's just regular packing tape, but it's the same tape I've been using on all of them. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my razor blade here and just try to get up under that resin a little bit. And start pulling it up and away from that tape. And then once you get it going, it's fine. It's just getting that initial pull that can be a bit difficult. See, we got the one wing came up, the other one is wanting to stick down, and it is stuck to that tape. I don't know why it did that so badly. There we go. Okay, so we've got it off of there. That did pop out just a little bit, so now I need to somehow fill in those gaps so that we don't have a terrible running problem with the resin. We've got the same thing. It's kind of, I don't know if it really pulled away on this side or not, or if it just puddled a little bit on that side. So this side's actually pretty good. I just have a little bit out on the edge, and that's okay. That you can cut away pretty easily, you guys. Just like that. Okay. And there's a little bit right there. Now this side it didn't leak, but it pulled away from the wire. So I'm going to very quickly take my resin And I'm going to puddle some in there. And get it under that light immediately. To seal that gap. Trying not to let it come through. Boy, did that ever stick on there. I don't get it because it never stuck on there that hard before. That was like crazy stuck. Okay, so this one we've got pretty much okay. There's a little bit of a hole right up here, and we're gonna, in a little bit, we're gonna take a little piece of tape and we're gonna cover that and we're gonna fill that in. So that's not a big deal for right now, but now we're gonna go ahead and we are gonna do the other side. And we're gonna try and get this, again, as flat as we possibly can. I'm going to take this little wooden hammer here, which is what I did for my dragonflies, and I'm going to press it down. It could be this soft surface that I'm working on because it's not as hard as it could be. Let's see, maybe if I take this and press it down on top of that, that might, oh, that's kind of not working out either. All right, so here's what we've got to do for a minute here. We're gonna pop this down on top of the table here. And we are going to press this down on there. Okay, and I think I've got that kind of flat, so let's give this a shot and see if we can make this work a little bit better this time. Okay, we're not going to play around this time. We are going to get that on there and pressed down and pour. And get this under that lamp as quickly as we possibly can. So let's go ahead and move that resin around to the edges of that wire. And I mean, if you can get it under that light quick enough, the resin isn't going to slip as far under that wire as it could if you wait too long to get it under that light. So that's why you want to do this part of the process as quickly as you can, you guys. Because there may be a little hole or two there, but if I get it under the lamp and it gets curing right away, those holes are not going to, it's not going to go too far under them. You might have a little bit you have to cut off, but hopefully not too much. And I'm going to put that in for just a few minutes and I'll be right back. Okay, so I feel like I put it under there for less than 3 minutes, and I feel like maybe that was my problem. Maybe it sat under that lamp too long. So we're going to, this is pulling off much, much easier than the last one did. So I think that was the problem. I had it under that lamp too long before I pulled it off. So there we go. That side went very nicely, and while it's still a little bit soft, I'm going to move those wings around and get them where I want them. We do have some runoff here, so we're going to clip that off right under here, just a tiny bit, and it's actually coming off like it was separated to begin with, so that worked out nicely. There's nothing in between, nothing in between there. We've got a really pretty clean butterfly. Got a little piece over here that we want to get rid of. And it is better if you do this part, the clipping, while it's still a little bit soft, because it will separate easier if it's softer. It will snip without breaking, I should say, a little easier. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to take a little tiny piece of my tape, and I'm going to put it, just using regular packing tape. I'm going to cut. Actually, that might work perfectly to have that little tab on there. So I'm going to use this piece here, and I'm going to put it on the bottom side where I had the tape before. I'm going to put that tape right under there and put a little bit of resin in, and I'm going to quickly throw that under the lamp and let that little bit of resin cure. Just enough that I can pull that tape off, and we're going to add another layer of resin on both top and bottom of this, so we're going to be just fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull our piece of tape off of there. Easy peasy, and we've got that filled in both of those corners. So that's what we look like so far, you guys. Pretty darn cool so far. Both wings look symmetrical, so I feel good about that. And there we go. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to put a layer of resin on the bottom side. The tape makes this sticky on the bottom side, so I want to pretty quickly go over this with my resin, trying not to get too much on there, and just doing a section at a time. I'm going to put it under the light real quickly, and then I'm going to do each section and just pop it under the light for a few seconds, just so that it gets hard and not drippy. And then I'm going to do the next section. And this is going to take out those waves as well, because the waves are on the bottom of the wing. So we've got the waves are getting taken care of now. And the next layer, actually we're not going to use the sparkles on this one. We're going to use the nail decals. I was saying we would use those sparkles, but we're not going to do that because we're using the decals. We don't want to cover those up with that sparkle, because it would ruin it. And those decals are amazing on these butterflies, you guys. Oh my goodness, they're amazing. And this time I'm going to do the decals before I start putting stuff in the middle. Although it did work out nicely to have my embellishments on there already, because the decals I just kind of went around them, which actually maybe we will do that. We'll do that again because it worked out really, really well for me. And I think we're going to use this butterfly like we did on the other one. And maybe some pretty, like some of these kind of gems, or we could use the smaller ones. These are the same as those, I think. Yeah, well, I've got so many of all kinds of colors, so we've got our choice on that. And last but not least, this last little section, hopefully we can do this one with no drips. And we will call this side a success. There we go. So it helps to do each one of those pieces of wing separately, because then you get it right under that lamp and you get it curing right away, and you don't have to worry about having a big old mess to clean up. And now I'm going to take off my pad. I'm going to turn the bottom light on. Whoopsies. And I'm going to let this sit on my lamp for 5 minutes. This way it's curing on both sides. Okay, everybody. We have got success on that side. The only thing you can see, like right here, is the drip mark, and that's from when I did that inner corner on the other side, and that's okay, because we're going to go over that again anyway. So and it really doesn't matter, because there's going to be stuff over the top of that. Namely, we're going to put this butterfly right in the center. So it's not going to matter. This is going to be so beautiful, you guys. Oh my goodness. So the next thing we're going to do, we've got it turned around so that now I'm looking at the top side of it, and I can tell because the bump's on the top there. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the flip side of this butterfly here. And I'm going to pop it over the top of that wire and hold it down for a minute. Just like that. And that's what we're going to have going on first. Beautiful. That smoky gray is just beautiful. And the first thing we need to do is we need to get resin, and I dropped a couple of drips here and there, and I shouldn't have done that. I wished I hadn't. I'm going to take my paper towel here and sort of wipe it just so that it's smooth. It doesn't matter that it's there necessarily, but I do want to smooth it out because that way, you know, the top part of it is going to be smoother once I put that last layer of resin over the top of it. Sorry, I was trying to concentrate on the lamp and talk to you guys at the same time. Okay, so I just want to get that butterfly on there real well in the center first before I do anything else. And I did pull out some of my other gemstones that Robin sent me recently in a Happy Mail package. I love these little gemstones. They make the best little extra bits and pieces to add to these. So I like to have those to just kind of add in here and there. I'm going to use this in this bottom wing like that, just like I did on the pink one, really. And so I'm going to take my dot of resin there. I'm just going to lay this right on top. I already took the post out from the earring. And I'm going to pick this up and hold it on. Whoopsie, whoopsie. Not so very well. There we go. I'm gonna lay it on the pad here and let that, I wanna make sure I've got it sitting the right way there. Let that cure. I just wanted to make sure it was sitting in the right direction. And I don't have to get this totally, completely 100% cured on there right now, because this thing's going to go under this lamp so many times that by the time I'm done, everything is going to be secure and ready to go. So, I don't know if I showed you guys. Look at the bracelet I made. Isn't it pretty? This was from a bracelet that Debbie over at Bird's Place had sent me a long time ago. I'm talking a couple years ago. I had made a bunch of these bracelets, and I just found a couple of them that I still had the other day, and I thought, oh, I want to make a bracelet, so I did. So, okay, this time we're going to use the purple flowers because I love these purple flowers. Look at how pretty they are, and they're sort of 2D, so I thought these would be super pretty to use on this, and we'll kind of go with purples and pinks on this one. So, we're just going to take our decals and place them where we want them. And I'm going to try and put matching ones on each side. Get this going right here, you guys. So this is the same one I'm going to put over on this side. And my fingernail is too fat, so it's not letting me put it down. Okay, let's try this way. Right there. There we go. And let's see, this is a good one. Trying to put some of the thicker bunches on first. That is, I don't know if I have another one that's just like that one. Oh, it's this one. Okay, I'll take that one and have it, whoops, have it coming up that way. And I knew there was a little corner of that that was sort of torn off, and I kind of knew that was going to happen there. I'm going to try and get it down in the right spot. There we go. Woohoo! Okay, so that's on there. And now this one's got kind of a big flower in the middle of it, so I like that. And we're going to have that going just kind of from the center here out, just like that. And that top section is going to be nice and full and beautiful. You can't miss those flowers. These things are not the easiest things to get off of these decal sheets, but that's kind of a good thing because they don't just fall off. But gosh, they're beautiful. There's that one. Then I need a couple of small ones really to go sort of on the inside piece right here. Right there. And I hung it over the edge, so that's okay. We're just going to nip that off. It's not that visible anyway. And then we'll put another piece on the other side. And we'll go with this one. Similar. And we're not going to let that one go off the edge though. Okay, and then I need just like a single flower or something coming off. Let's see, this one's almost a single flower. And we'll put you right there. I wonder if I should put it in the other direction. I think so. Right there. And one more big one. And you will go in that direction. There we go. Okay, so the tops are done. Look at how beautiful that is, guys. It's gorgeous. And so now we're just going to fill in these bottom ones. That's this one. And we honestly, on this side, don't need much, probably just the one, honestly. That one's kind of too big. So we're not going to waste that. I think we're going to try this one here. One that we can see. I don't want to have to cut any of it off. So I'm trying to get it to go kind of in a little ways. Just like that. Perfect. And this one's a little bit bigger, so that one will kind of match that coming out that corner. Right there. Just like that. I hate when these start to run out though. It makes me so sad because thankfully she gave me 2 packages of these. Yay! So I'm excited about that. So I have another full package of all colors of these. These are different. These are yellow, pinks, and whites here. And then the other ones are these purples, and then the other one is all pinks. One to the inner corner here. Oh, that did not go where I told it to. Okay. Shouldn't be too much longer, you guys, and we should be done with this one. Okay, that's it. That's all of the decals that we're going to put on this one. And we put a lot more on this than we did on the other one. But I wanted it to be that way. I wanted to have more color coming out of this one. But now we're going to add some of our other goodies here to just make it pop. Look at that. So if I take that and this one over on this side, beautiful. And then really I can only use one more of these right over here on this side. Maybe going right there. Yes. because this is already in this side, so we don't need anything going right there. And then trying to think, we want to add maybe a pink. See, I've only got one like that, so these other gemstones are just going to have to be sort of sporadic shapes and colors, and that's okay. I'm totally fine with that. Kind of like that. Maybe I should. I'm not going with that. I'm going to put the same stone on this side. I just think it will be so much prettier. It'll make it more classy. So here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to... Oh, this is not going to be easy, because I'm not gluing these down right here. So I need to be super careful about how I see. Again, one section at a time, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Let me make sure. Try and get this started holding itself down. I'm just hoping they're, yes, they're in place. Okay, good, 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 good. So I'm going to put a little bit under this stone here, right there. And then I need something coming out. I don't want to go with green. Maybe I should go with another clear gem. And this is sort of a clear heart, but it's the shape of the wing. Okay, let me look at this. Need to push it in a little and push it over a little bit. And that looks good to me. And hopefully they'll stay right where they're at and they will focus. Okay guys, I've got a little teeny purple heart in the middle there, and I've got it positioned just perfectly. So I'm going to try and just drip one drop of resin on top there and very quickly get my lamp over the top of it and get it cured while it's in place and keeping it from sticking to my table. That is key. So I'm going to be moving it around a little bit. And we did get all of the other pieces down where they need to be. And so this one more drip of resin here to make sure it gets in place and stays in place. And let's see. Do we need anything else, guys? I feel like I don't want to go too far on this. I don't want to ruin it with too much dilly-dallying around. There's a little pink heart. I'm wondering if I put one of those on each side. I think that might be a nice little finishing touch on each of those pieces, and I think that looks beautiful. So we're gonna put those in there. We're gonna drop a drop of resin on each one, right between all of those rhinestones. And under the lamp we go. And we're going to turn the bottom one on too, if we can find the button. That's the hardest part. And let's see what we have got as our finished piece. I'm wondering though, one other thing. I'm wondering if I need to put a flower on the top of this butterfly somewhere, or near the butterfly, or near these flowers. That is a purple flower, to kind of finish it off. That looks very pretty there. Just kind of does finish it off with that purple flower. Just like that. That looks good, you guys. I'm going to put that one last thing on there. And hopefully I can get it on there so that I can get part of it at least to set right off the bat. And then, whoa, and there I knocked it right off. Oh, it was in a perfect position too. There we go. Okay, let's get that on there and hope that I can get it started at least curing, and then we can put a little bit more resin over that, finish curing it, and we will be done with this piece. And I think she is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, we won't be done. I've got to put one more layer of resin over the top of each wing. So that's what we're going to do right now. That's set. And so one at a time here, like we did before, you guys, we're just going to do these outer edges on these, wherever you're going to actually see the wing, and we are going to put our resin over it so that those decals are covered and set right into the resin. And so there's one. Now we just need a tiny bit on this wing, just this little section that's popping out. And there's that one. And then we're going to go with this one, which needs a little bit more. Try and be neat and tidy with the resin, because we really don't want any more drips or anything, you guys. We want this to be it for this beautiful butterfly. We don't want to mess her up. And that's how I do it, you guys. I just use my bottle, and I'm very careful with how much I squeeze out onto the butterfly, and make sure that I'm not going to have, you know, a whole bunch of drips. And if I do it right, and I'm not saying that I always do it right, you guys, because sometimes I do mess up and I make mistakes. And it frustrates me when I do that, because sometimes they're just silly mistakes that I didn't need to make. Okay, so we've got the last piece in here. We're going to pop it in. We're going to actually leave the rest of this. I'm going to hold on to it for a minute. And then we're going to let it sit and finish curing for about 5 minutes. And then I will pull it out and you guys can see this finished, beautiful, beautiful butterfly. Out. Out, out, out. Go on. I'm coming out in a minute. Okay? I'm almost done. I'm coming out, baby. 5 minutes. Okay, you guys, so this is the final butterfly. Beautiful, beautiful. I did add this one more flower over here because I felt there was an empty space under and behind there that I had to fill in. So I did add one more flower in there from my porcelain collection. So yeah, that is what she looks like now, and she is absolutely gorgeous, you guys. Look at that. Oh my God, she's so beautiful. So I'd just like to say thank you all for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Take care, be safe, be well, be kind most of all. Love your family and be blessed. And I love you all. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for pictures on the back end. God bless you all. See ya. Bye.